Ja tutaj mam na przykład na dole, nie? O, jest napisane.
O, recording, dobra. A możemy zaczynać.
Nie wiem, czy ktoś jeszcze pisał, że się pojawi.
Na czacie nie.
Ale jest 19:00.
Możemy może tak z minutkę poczekać, bo jeszcze w sumie tutaj ludzie się łączą.
Amelka już wchodzi tutaj, więc będzie za chwilę.
Mika, Kasia. So we will wait, I think, one more minute. And then we can start. The webinar will be in English because if there will be any English speaker applicant, we want them also to be able to watch it later on and to use this material. So that's why. Plus, you need to know English as LCP applicants. Yeah, so we will conduct this in English, so that's more expectation setting. Plus, if you can turn your cameras on, it would be amazing to see your beautiful faces, because it's easier to facilitate the space when you see people and not just squares with the names. So I would really appreciate, guys, if you turn on the cameras. Incognito, nice try. Okay. Eventually we will get to know who you are. Hey Kasia, thank you for turning on the camera.
O,
Amelka, wow, this is solution orientation in the car, amazing, appreciate. Smacznego. Dobra, so we can start, I think. So welcome to the first webinar of the ones that we will conduct for LCP applicants. So yeah, this one will be about LCP role. So basics of the basics that you need to know about what LCP do and what is it, not only what is the JD, but also the role itself. Yeah, so welcome on this webinar, click.
Yes, so we will introduce ourselves briefly. So I'm Monia and I'm LCP of Kraków.
I'm Asia and I'm LCP of Warsaw SGH.
And I'm Aga, I'm CVP Marketing currently, but former LCP 9020 of Poznań. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, and when it comes to agenda of today's meeting, so we will present you these 4 roles that LCP has, and then we will also tell you a little bit about these roles in practice. Also, we will present you LCP timeline and how, like, why is it important. And also there will be time for Q&A, so if you have any questions and you will have any questions while we will be speaking, so then you can write them down and then there will be space to ask them. And now, at first, we wanted to start with a little a short video, which will show you how some people see the role of LCP.
You is stupid because they don't respect me. That's right. They don't know what my title is. Show me your LCP. Your LCP. What? Show me your LCP. Your local committee. Show me your LCP. Your LCP. What? Show me your LCP. Your local committee. Wanna have a coaching talk? Why? You should rather do some exchange. Now you wanna have some feedback? Why? You should rather go on exchange. Can't measure all these plans you give to me, and I can't understand your team vision that I see, and I can't send to China your positive impact talk. So why are you sharing all this information with me? It's leadership, cause I'm saying it in a song. That's right, VPs, now go work along and show me your LCP. Your LCP. What? Show me your LCP. Your local committee. Show me your LCP. Your LCP. What? Show me your LCP. Your local committee. Knock knock. Who's there? It's me. Wondering why you're not on exchange. Knock knock. Who's there? Me again. Still wondering why you're not on exchange. I wanna see performance, I don't care what you say. No, I don't have feelings, only VPs are so gay. There's something about performance in the month of May. Everybody loves me because my position is cool. VPs' brains are much stupider than LCPs are, so they should always listen to us because we are smart. Members are good for only 3 things. TNs, EPs, and exchange. Show me your LCP. Your LCP. What? Show me your LCP. Your local committee. Show me your LCP. Your LCP. What? Show me your LCP. Your local committee. I can give good talky talk to you, because I'm really good at talky talk. I can give good talky talk to you, because I'm really good at talky talk. Yeah, that's right. Shake your EP forms. I'm out of here. I gotta go and raise 1 million exchanges all by myself.
Okay, so what you saw on the video is definitely not what LCP role is exactly about, and we really hope it's not seen like this. Instead, we could sum up the LCP in 4 main sections. First one is being a guardian, which simply means that you are the one responsible that everything what we do is aligned with our essence and values, and you are the first one to represent them. Then we have a team leader role, because you still need to remember that you are a leader of your EB and you're responsible for your team. As a CEO, you need to make sure that your LC is growing, and it's growing in a healthy and sustainable way. And last but not least, LCP is also external representative, which means that LCP is responsible for the external contacts such as alumni, university, and other bigger organizations. And hearing those roles, you may wonder also what are the measure of successes of LCP. And our answer is easy. It's simply growth and plan achievement of the LC, as well as health and sustainability of your LC. And right now, Manya will explain you the first role.
Yes, so the first role will be team leader. As you can see this meme, so we have LCP and VPs that didn't attend any VM. Yes, so of course it doesn't look like this, but as I will tell you also about EVMs later, it's really important. You can click Asia. So basically, it seems really like easy because we have only one thing under being a team leader of EB. So we have to deliver team standards. But as you also know, because you are VPs, like almost all of you, it's not also that easy to fulfill every team standard and to like remember about everything like all the time. Click. So here, like I put these team standards, but like what I can tell you and what can be a GCPs is to like analyze all of them to see what we have there exactly, and to plan how you will implement them in your everyday like everyday role and in your EB term. So like as you can see, we have there this 3 phase, so building, performing, and closing. So at the beginning, it's really important to create this team, to set your core as a team, to set rules, to set this purpose, what you want to also achieve during your term as a team. Then, of course, in the phase of performing in EB is like the longest one, because this is a team that is like the term is for 1 year. So it's really important to focus on this, like the second phase. So of course we have the one-to-ones, we have team meetings, team days, and also when it comes to the whole performance tracking. But of course it's also really important to close somehow this experience. Like, you know, this EB term is always like we are the second family, so you don't want to close this experience, but it's really important to sum up everything and to also pass the transition and pass the knowledge to the new EB term. And you can click. And here I put some non-negotiable that they are really important, and you cannot be LCP without these things, in my opinion. So the first thing is to, like, the most important thing is to set these rules at the beginning. So what is non-negotiable for you, what also your VPs expect from you. So when you will set these rules, then you can become accountable to what you like discussed at the beginning. And when we had this meme, of course, like attendance on EBMs is also non-negotiable. And this is also what I was telling my VPs always, that we have to be at EBMs, and like only when they have like something important happened, so they can approach me before and they can tell me that they cannot attend EBM, for example, because there is some accident or something like this. But this is the rule that you also have to set from the beginning, that you have this clear routine. You have 1 day that you always have EBMs, and this is non-negotiable. Also, with regular one-to-ones, this is really important because sometimes you can, when you will tell your VPs, for example, that they can approach you if they need to talk with you or they need one-to-one. So promise me they will not approach you because they will be sometimes scared, or like they will not feel this need. But you will, when you will set these regular one-to-ones, and like, for example, I have one-to-ones at the beginning of the month always. So then you can sometimes, you know, try to discuss with them what is happening, also ask about feedback, and then there is like bigger possibility that they will tell you what they have in mind when there is something wrong, for example. When it comes to their plan, like development plan that they set for the whole term, it's also really important. So for you to ask about their development, because then you will see that they will see that they are developing, so they will also see this purpose of being here, and that they can also gain something for their personal life. Of course, feedback spaces are also important because, like, when you will ask about feedback, then they will tell you what is wrong and what like wrong happened. And sometimes, if you will not ask, then some people prefer just to keep it for themselves. So you have to ask about it to know what is happening. And also monthly review. This is also important to review every month. Also when we have quarterly review or after the first semester review of the whole semester. So this is also really important to review what happened and to set these like new plans and new strategies sometimes for next month and for next till the end of the term. You can click. Yes.
So as a guardian, you are the one that makes sure that your LC is connected to ISEC way and living our values. Also in a way that your members won't feel that they are joining some kind of a cult, like as you can see on the meme. And what does it mean in practice, actually? LCP participates in national, but as well international meetings, summits, such as national president meetings, national conferences, as well international ones like EuroExpro or IC. Like this year, we had a chance to participate in half of the EuroExpro. And as a president, you go over and you also make sure that you represent your LC in the best way possible. So that, for example, some international LCs will be willing to cooperate with you. As LCP is also the one who participates in general assemblies of ISEC for Poland, and is the one that takes the decisions in the name of the LC. And such general assemblies are happening several times in a year, for example, on national conferences. As LCP, you're also a role model and have to ensure that all your members knows what ISEC is and knows why we do what we do in our organization. So you have to make sure that this knowledge is delivered and as well reminded in the right way, in the right time on the touch point that your LC is having. LCP is also ensuring the connections of our products and strategies with the organizational essence. So he's finally responsible for making sure that LC projects or area strategies are in line with our essence. And you also have to make sure that those things are connected also with the national plenary. So we know that the whole Poland is moving in the same direction. And last but not least, LCP is shaping behaviors that are based on ISEC values. So he's the one that sometimes have to say stop and, for example, align with others that you don't agree to, as you've seen on the meme, that we are not a cult because it can like have further influence on members and externals. And LCP also shapes the culture and identity of the LC and, for example, how it is perceived by other LCs on the national plenary.
Mm-hmm. And the next role we have CEO. So as you can see there, nobody knows always what LCP is doing, and people are always like impressed when you will tell them like exactly what you are doing. Click. Yes, so to like briefly tell you what does it mean to be CEO at LCP. So firstly, we can divide it for like few blocks. And first would be operations. So of course, LCP is the person who has to ensure that we are growing, that we are performing, that we also have these IR partnerships, and that we are this cooperation with other LCs is on good level. Then we have the part of finance and legality. So of course, this is all connected to budget, to conducting GAs on local level, to fulfilling the membership criteria. Also to like LCP has access to bank account, so like it depends on how you will discuss it with your VP Finance, but LCP is also the person who should check sometimes bank account and know what is there. Also, it's connected to documents, so signing documents, and also be aware of which documents you also should provide, for example, to the city council or like to the university. Also, this is like connected to the legality and all of the things to be legal as LC. And also, this is connected to deadlines tracking because, like as you know, or like some of you know, because some of you are also VP Finance, we have a lot of deadlines, which also LCP should be aware of and should track. The next block is talent management. So this is team standard implementation as team leader, of course, in EB, but you also have to make sure that in LC, team standards are delivered and are implemented. Also, we have their pipeline, so you have to also make sure that like the atmosphere in LC is good, that people can like also want to apply for higher positions. Also, LCP is responsible for MB management. It can be also done with VPTM, but the final responsible person is LCP. You have to also ensure that members are achieving their goals in our LCs. And also, this is your responsibility as LCP to analyze engagement survey responses and also to have some results from these responses to implement them in LC. And the last block we have here, local committee development. So it's all connected to checking of the model, how healthy is LC, and also what is our performance, to check if we are fulfilling our strategies that we set at the beginning, to also make sure that synergies are happening in our LC, and also at the end to make sure that our LC will still exist, that we have this continuity, and also that we are passing knowledge to next term and we have transition. And also what is important to say here that it's not that you have to make like, you know, do these things on your own, and you have to like track performance every day and like, you know, check a bank account every day. It means that you are finally responsible, but you have your VPs, you have your EB, and they are your masters in their fields. So basically your role is to track these things, to make sure that it's happening. But like, don't worry, you know, you have like, you are only one, so you don't need to do like everything. And when it comes to this role in practice, like I would recommend you to do like a Gantt or like a timeline for all of these things that should happen. So you will have in one place all deadlines that you have to fulfill, when the membership criteria, like there is also check of membership criteria, what deadlines you have here. Also, like, for example, how many days before you have to announce General Assembly. So it's just a matter of doing like one spreadsheet with every information that you will need there, with every routine that you have to send Sona, and like with every deadline that you will have. And then it's just like track them and check them like every day, which things you have to do.
Okay, and then we have the last role that is like all of those things that I need to fulfill as LCP, and you know, keep an eye on everything that is happening inside of the LC. Very often we are having too less time to think about the external world, but this is, to be honest, the most important thing, like very crucial one, to make sure that the things that you are doing in the LC are externally relevant, that you are answering to the needs of external environment, and that you as LCP are the face of all of the things that are happening there. Yeah, so a second click. So as you can see here, like are some key points, and they sound very general. And when you will be focusing, like for sure, first you focus on your team to have it elected, to deliver those team standards, to have those strategies and everything. And then these points are very often like in the very, very last point to fulfill. So like my advice is just for you to make sure that you put those things in place in the timeline, as Monia said, or you have the people who will like support you in fulfilling this part of the role. Because for example, with the like communication with other organizations and alumni, you can use the support of your VPPD, or you can have directly coordinator for contact with alumni. So you can somehow plan how you will fulfill this part of your role, and how like that to have for sure like the strategy for these relations, for them not to just die, because when you will just say that, oh, I will keep in touch with alumni, it will never happen if you don't have a plan, and if you don't have like a proposition for them, how you can engage them and stuff like this. So, and this is also based on my experience, like I focused so much on my team and all the things that happen inside the LC, that I didn't have enough time to focus on alumni and to focus on external representative of my LC. And also to like align the partnerships with the government, the authorities in the local level. So this is really important to like sit and see your time, if you have enough time to do it also, or you have enough VPs to like delegate part of the JD to them. So this is really important. Yes, as you can see here, like it's really clear. So about the representation at the key external activities, about the alumni and other organizations that are present there, how you can cooperate with them, about the government, and about the representation in the LC strategic partner touchpoints. This is more for the LCs that have like the strong cooperations with some companies and have, for example, strategical partner of the LC. This is also very important for LCP sometimes to show up on some gala for partners, not only for the companies, but also for the stakeholders. This is the thing that really changes a lot when you will just be there and show up and just show the support also to your VPs that are doing an effort. Yes, and generally ensuring the general brand alignment in every LC-related activity. And this is the thing that like really relates to my role right now. So to make sure that you also know the brand of our organization, with that doesn't just only mean how to use the logo, but it means that our brand is simply leadership. So you need to make sure that in all the communication that you are sending, it's about leadership, and it's aligned with the like national things that are communicated. so we are not misaligned in terms of the brand. So that's it. Yes, and in general, as you could hear, is a lot of the things that you need to remember about, a lot of details and a lot of theory that we put here. But in general, leadership is not about the title, it's a behavior. So like our invitation with this webinar is for you to live this behavior and to fulfill this role in your own way, because every one of you, if will be elected for LCP, will be very different LCP because you have different personality, you are extroverts, you are introverts, and basing on all of the things and all of your ideas that you will have in your mind, you can shape this role in your own way. So just for you to remember that this is not just a checkpoint that you need to fill in some tool or in the calendar on be accountable towards MC, but this is the thing that will shape yourself and also shape your team and shape the whole LC in the end, because as LCP, you are the one who is thinking like above the, you know, the everyday work. So above one term, above 1 year. So this is really, really important. And also, I think in LCP role, the one thing that is crucial is to make sure that you also adapt to your people, because, for example, some of the things will work as we were giving you the tips right now for the team. So to like setting very strong rules or stuff like this. But also sometimes it's like you need to adapt your leadership style to your people and also to the needs of your LC. So this is very important. Yes, and you can click Asha. So as LCP timeline, in summing up, so your role is simply your strategy, because very often we are asking, okay, that my VPs are doing strategies, but I'm not doing strategy. But to be honest, your role is your strategy. You, like, believe me, you have enough things to do. And simply by following this role and thinking, okay, how I can fulfill it and how I can downscale it, it will be just enough to have your own strategy for this role and to support your team. So here you have the link also to the tool that I think might be helpful with that. So this is simply the example of the Gantt, as Monia was mentioning, that I was creating with LCPs back then in 2019. And we were thinking about how we can downscale in the timeline all our role. So it's all about like all the activities that you need to do and in different period of time. So all the things that you need to do, I don't know, every day or every week or monthly or quarterly or stuff like this. So if you like are looking for the idea how you can put it in one place, this is one of them. But also if you are more person of putting it into calendar or putting it on the flip chart on the wall, it's also a very cool idea. So just think about how it will speak to you more and adapt it to yourself. But for sure, this is the thing that you need to have idea on, because nobody will tell you that, yeah, you need to be guardian like this, but you need to know how to be this person and how to fulfill all of those points yourself. So this is the invitation for you to start thinking about it for the GA, for the process, and for the whole of being elected and then trying to fulfill this role. Because yes, I said it on purpose, we are all trying to fulfill this role for the whole term. I don't think that there is a person who would say to you that, yeah, I'm 100% perfect LCP who knows what to do for the whole year. So, but the most important thing is for you to have those dreams, what kind of LCP I want to be and how do I want to fulfill my role. So yeah, this is from our side. And now it's time for the questions, if you have any.
Don't be shy.
It can be related to the roles or doesn't need to. It can be related to our experiences. it can be totally random, so as you wish. This space is for you. As you can see, we used just half an hour, so it was very efficient time. So, and now we have time for your questions.
Hey guys, thank you so much for your presentation. I have like a question especially for Asha, because like as we saw on some call, SJ is really like tight knit, like really working together. And what's like for you, like what is how basically how did you do it? Like what are like the case study and stuff? Like what do you propose to have this team besides working like that, be engaged like that?
Okay, so I guess that what really helped us at the beginning, it was actually implementing team standards, because we were having like team days, and like I'm making sure that we have like the spaces that we can like talk also like more deeply about like who we are, what we want from the experience, and something like this. So we were like very aligned at the beginning, what we want to achieve and what is like our like main vision for the LC, and we all agreed on that, and we decided that we want to be united in what we do, and simply like after that, like when we get to know each other better, we just love to spend time with each other, and it really helped us a lot in what we do. Like cooperation is very, very smooth because everyone is happy to just spend time with each other, and that's what makes like our work easier.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so since nobody is even asking questions, I have one more. So after your like you, I got already edited them, but you are guys like you are close to the end. Like, what is like the biggest thing you would like to know when you are beginning your term? Like after over half a year, like what you wish you would know in the beginning, like to all of you.
I think I have very fastly the answer after half a year of reflecting already after experience. So I think that someone in the beginning should say to me that I should totally focus on my AV and that I should make them experts of the areas, not myself expert of everything, because that was the point that I was like trying to do in the beginning, that okay, LCP has those four roles, so I need to know everything about every area and you know how everything works. And that was not the key. The key was how I manage my team, because if I master the team management, then my people will be working well and they will be fulfilling their plans. And this is my goal as the leader of them. So that's the one thing.
When it comes to me, like it's a really hard question actually. Like I don't know exactly maybe what would I like to know at the beginning, but for sure, like what I also told you that it could be as it could be also be as GCP from me to set these rules at the beginning, and to as also Asha said that to get to know like each other better, to know what purpose we have together as a team and in which direction we want to go, because it can be really helpful then when you set some rules, for example, then you can blow it up when some things go wrong during the term, and when you somehow get lost, some people are demotivated, or when there are some problems, then you can come back to this like the rules that you set at the beginning, to this purpose of your team. You can evaluate how the work is going, you can give each other feedback, and then you can start again like with fresh beginning, let's say. So it's really important to take care of your team at the beginning, even before the term, when you will select them in like November, let's say, or at the end of October, to do team days, to create this identity, to make all of this process, like dreaming process at the beginning, really special for them, because it will be like successful start, and then because when EB has good relationship like between each other, it really helps to work then. So it's really important to start it at the beginning.
I would just follow up what the girls said. I mean, like, I also believe that people are the most important thing, and like when you focus on your EB, it will be much easier to like make all the other things working, because somehow it will work itself, I would say.
Okay, thank you guys very much. I see Incognito has a question.
Yes, I saw. So we have a question. Could you tell us more about cooperation in LCPs and MC? How does it look like? What are the routines, dynamics, etc.? Okay, so maybe I can start. Like the cooperation actually, like this is also my impression, because like I'm in ISEC like 3.5 years or already, and when I was like team leader before, I had this impression that MC is more like alone working and LCs are like more like on their road. But now I saw what I saw in ZIL especially, and now it's also like this is the continuity of it, that we actually started to go in the same direction, and we started to like work together as LCs and MC, because we are actually one entity and we want to achieve like the same things. So I would say that now this cooperation is like it looks really good in my opinion. So basically we have like Monia is our leader of our LCP commission, because it also was different. Like a few years ago, for example, there was CXO and OD, but now we have Monia. So we have monthly calls, commission calls, as like all commissions, on which we are, like, can discuss what is happening and also like some important things. We have our LC coaches. This is OD or CXO or like some few like member of MC, AGA as well. They have like their own LCs which they are coaching. So we have monthly one-to-ones with our coach, but we also can have one-to-one with Monia if we want to talk with her about some things. So basically, like the dynamic is like it's going really smoothly. We have also conversation on WhatsApp with whole MC and whole LCP commission. So if we have any questions or we need like to know anything, we can just type there and ask, and always someone will answer. Yes, so it looks basically like this. I don't know, girls, if you want to add something.
Maybe I will add that we also have like something like it's called National Presidents Meeting. So like during a year we have like few meetings which are like, I would say that it's like a summit for LCPs, and then we can like discuss more complex things. But I would also say like the communication between LCPs and MC is quite easy, I would say. I mean, like we all know that we can freely express what we think, and that we also as LCP commission can talk about some issues, about what we see that need to be changed, and also like when MC want to implement some changes, they also consulted with us. So it's very cool that we also have possibility to talk about this.
And also we with Asha will recommend to be in steering team. Like this is really, we have like more close cooperation with MC, especially with Bruna from OT. And so we can give feedback to some strategies that MC wants to implement, or we can discuss some things that they want to launch. So it's really cool that you can have this opportunity to give feedback and to also see what plans MC have like before.
Yeah, like I'll just sum up this, because as girls were mentioning, like there are things that are like obligatory and those like very, that you need to fulfill, because also, for example, NPM is the part of membership criteria. So if you are not there, you are not fulfilling membership criteria. Also, you need to be present on GAs because there are like the most important decisions are made there. And PMs and GAs are like pretty much combined. And for us as MC, also those touch points are the most crucial because then we present the most important things and the most important like changes that we want to implement or stuff like this. And like it cannot work like that, that MC is just saying that it's changing something and then, you know, just downscaling it and hey kappa and that's it. No, we need to ask LCPs, and in more of the times it's like formally by GA and stuff like this. But in the like the things that we don't need to ask the GA for, then we have the steering team, as Monia said. So you can apply to this body, it's super cool. And in this term, even want to use this body more because like Bruna wants to engage steering team in like more and more activities, and also we were discussing like agenda of SAMCO together. LCPs were co-delivering lead spaces and stuff like this, and this is the direction that we want to continue. So for sure, if you really want to have like influence on the national directions and stuff like this, it's really important for you to, like when you start your term, to apply to steering team or to membership subcommittee who like checks the criteria of membership or stuff like this, because then you can have the even closer cooperation. Oh my God. What is it like to be LCP? Is it good?
It's the best. I mean, I can tell like from
Konrad, sorry. Konrad, thank you for posting this because I wanted to do the same.
to the same question or what? Because I don't see a chat.
This is like some song or like?
This is
like,
monologue.
Yeah, a little bit of off top. If you want Asterix and Obelix, it is what the scribe said. How to like to be a scribe.
Yeah. I think it sums up a little bit of LCP role. But yeah, like from my perspective, the shout that we are screaming all the like, we were, it's good to be LCP. It's really something that is true, but like that it's really good to be LCP. But sometimes we're joking that we are just screaming it for ourselves to convince that yeah, it's good. You need to like believe in this, you know, because on the other hand, it's super challenging, and I think we shouldn't lie to you that it's like butterflies and roses, because it is not. You are the final responsible for the LC, and you will need to face the most challenging moment of the LC, the most hard decisions of dismissing someone, of saying to someone that you shouldn't behave in this way, and for people then to not like you maybe or stuff like this. But you need to be this person. So this is like the big challenge, but afterwards, when you go through all of those challenges, you are like the stronger person, and this is like basically the thing that you are the most learning on. And that's why we are keep on saying that it's good to be, even though it's hard. So like, this is my perspective.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, like, you may see that, for example, like you heard a lot of responsibilities here today, but also all of these responsibilities are at once difficult, but at the same time it brings a lot of joy, I would say, and fulfilling. For me, it makes me happy. So yeah, it's good to be.
Yes, I would agree with guys.
Okay, we have a question from Amelka. What was the biggest challenge in the beginning of being LCP? And Misha has a comment, waking you up after Global Village.
Yes, making sure that all of your VPs will wake up to the plenary.
That's the big deal. And then you are this badass that needs to wake everyone up.
I mean, like at the beginning, for sure, it was challenging to make sure that you build a good team, like from the beginning, like to have all the right people on the right positions, and make sure that maybe even though some of the people are not knowing each other yet, they will, and they will build like one team.
Yes, for sure, like EB process, and I would say also to manage like everything that you have, because you have like you are elected to being LCP, but you still are VP in most cases. So it's like managing two roles, but also to make sure that you will not forget about anything. So all of this process, like of transition, preparing to be LCP, but also giving a transition to your successor when you have like when you are VPs. So to manage like everything and to make sure that like everything is done in good way.
Yeah, and also about that, I think we are tending to put a lot of pressure on ourselves in this period of time, like when we are just elected. And then for you, it seems like you have just less and less time for the beginning of the term, and you are just stressing and stressing, and you want to be like perfectly prepared and stuff. But the truth is that you will never be like perfectly prepared, and you need to face this truth in your head that no, I will not be perfectly ready. But one of my advices is to like make sure that also like when you need to give, for example, this transition as a VP, like you used to be, for example, VP IGT, and like you still are, and you need to give the transition to your successor, but you need to also take transition as a recipe. So like from my experience, it's good to prioritize this transition that you are taking as a leader, and then just to make sure that your successor is not like left over without any knowledge and stuff. So to make sure that this person is approaching maybe other people and bringing like more source of knowledge, like from other places and stuff like this. Because for example, I had this kind of case that I had two successors because I decided to split OGX area, and I made OGV and OGT, and I needed to give two transitions and one to take from myself. So I used a lot the capacity of the whole network to give transition to my people. So this is like cool GCP to use also. Yeah. And yeah, Conrad, you need to be the one who wakes up in the morning. This is the hard truth, but yeah.
I like Spanko very much. Like besides anything else, I just love Spanko. So.
So you have a first challenge to be faced. Because yeah, like this is like, to be honest, like despite like all the jokes and stuff, this is not the matter of that you need to be the perfect person who is always waking up on the conferences, the first one, and who is always, I don't know, with perfect makeup or fresh and you know, rise and shine. But you need to be the role model, and you need to remember about it. If you don't respect the rules, and if you, for example, don't show up on the whole part of the conference, then your people will don't care, because they will look up to you all the time. Because like, for example, I had this kind of example when I was a VP, my LCP was not respecting this kind of rules, and he was not showing up to the plenaries. And then whole EB was not respecting it, and then whole LC, and then we were basically invisible on the conference because people were not taking care of that. So this is the thing that may seem like, oh my God, I need to be this strict one and stuff, but to be honest, like, to not be like too harsh on yourself, but also to remember that you are a role model. Okay, Misha has a question. Do you feel you have to calm down and be more serious as LCP in comparison to LCVP?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, like, it's the matter of a person and character, I would say, because like you also as LCP, you cannot simply like put on a mask and be someone different, because then people will see that you're not yourself. The best LCP is just being yourself, I would say, because you cannot adjust all of your behaviors to like one model.
Yes, for sure. I will agree with Asia. It's also the matter, like maybe of which position you have, because like for example I was VP finance, so I was taking care of everything like when it comes to legality finance, but I like didn't have so many contact with people, and like, you know, I didn't like, I would not say that I didn't care about people, but I just didn't have my structure, so I didn't had to implement team standards and, you know, everything. So like I was just like living my life and everything was cool. But then it turns out that like being LCP is like really like serious role, and you have to be really responsible for everything. So it's just like the matter of like maybe not changing attitude, but like just you have to realize on which like things you have to focus, and like on what you have to be responsible for. But when it comes to like being like, you cannot change, like as Asha said, that when you are like always energetic person and then you have to be serious LCP. It's just like you have to be yourself, but you have to remember about like your role as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would just say that you need to be authentic, and like in being role model and everything, you will not fake anyone. Like if you will try to be totally serious or totally chilly and extrovert, if you are totally introvert, it will not work out. You just need to be yourself and find, as we were saying, your own way to fulfill the LCP role. So it's not like this, that one day you are a VP and you are super random, and then the other day you are LCP and I'm super serious. No, it doesn't work like that.
I would also say that don't compare yourself to your current LCP, because like all of us are different, all of us have different like leadership styles and so on, and that's true. Like first of all, you need to be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we have also questions from Kato. If we have some GCPs or BCPs, how to conduct one-to-ones meeting with our VPs?
I would say that first of all, schedule them because like it's the first step. Like at the beginning of the term, I had in my mind that I need to have one-to-ones every month, and it was like crucial for me. And I cannot imagine that I'm not having like one-to-ones with my VPs. But when it comes to I don't know, the structure of one-to-ones, I would say that the most important is to give space to your VP to talk about like what issues they have right now in the moment, to know that they have someone to listen to, and they can like talk about you with your problems and how to solve them, and also make sure that they know like what direction they want to have like each month, and how they also personally want to develop, because I guess, and not I guess, it's also important.
Yes, like for sure, I will follow up what Asha said. Like for example, I have this rule that I'm doing one-to-ones like at the beginning of the month, every month. So they, like my VPs know already that when there is like the end of the month, then I will approach them to set one-to-ones for the like first week or the second week of the month. And like it's really important to set them with every VP, because as I told you also, sometimes people can have something on their mind, and if you will like tell them that you can approach me when you will need it, then they will not approach you, because they will like be maybe sometimes too scary, or they will just think that maybe it's not important, so they don't need to like you know, approach you and waste your time. So it's really important to set these one-to-ones, and like for example, like I think that it's actually like working, like in my case, I just have like of course the questions you can adjust, like what do you want to ask them, but it's really like cool to have them like clear. So you will have, for example, your tool when you will have the questions for one-to-ones, so you will be prepared for these one-to-ones and not just like ask what will come to your mind. So for example, I have like few blocks, so like first we are just like discussing how we are feeling, and you know, like this small talk at the beginning, but then it's really important to evaluate the last month, so like successes, failures, like what happened, like, you know, like to evaluate what happened during the previous month, to set also like the goals for the future, what they want to happen, and also on what they want to focus. And also it's really important to give this like feedback space, so to ask them what is not working, like how they evaluate the relationship in EB, because maybe there happened something that you didn't notice, and there can be like some people quarreling with each other and you didn't notice it. So it's really important to ask about it if everything is okay. I don't know, like if there's anything more, like basically it's like this structure is like important to evaluate what happened, about the future, and also this feedback. Like when we will be elected, and then you can also like approach us for like more detailed questions, and when you will need this flow, we will always help you. Yes, but when it comes to like more general GCPs, I would say like this.
Also in the PPT, you can find like on the slide that Monia was presenting, the blue code for team leader, and then you have like whole instruction how to deliver team standards, and there's also part for one-to-ones, and there are a lot of materials on our hub that you can find. But the only thing that I would add is like, of course you need to have a plan for it, but what I think somehow saved my term and my relations with VPs is that I was adapting each one-to-one to the VP character and the way that they like to talk. Because, for example, I had like one total introvert that needed to have very direct questions, because when I will just ask open question, he will just answer with one word. Or on the other hand, I had my VP IGV who was like totally talkative, and she could have one-to-one for 3 hours, and that's not the point. So you need to, you know, like somehow get to know your people and see what kind of style of one-to-ones is better for them. And like the most important is the outcome of the meeting. So they don't feel that they were just chatting with you for 1 hour, but they know that you are supporting them in the direct way, that you have a next steps, and that they simply know what to do after the meeting. So yeah. Just don't be afraid of one-to-ones, because I think very often we are afraid of them, and they are like later on they are the best part of the experience, when you can just see your VP and discuss all of those things and just talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions you have?
Okay, I guess not. But remember that, like, still, you can always approach us, and like, just make sure that we are here for you. Not like you not only have your LCP, maybe you want to talk with some other LCP, so we are here for you.
Yes.
Cheerleaders of Asha out there. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. And we are keeping our fingers crossed for your process. Don't be afraid of it. And just make sure that you are keep on learning throughout it, because it's the most important. Yeah, and as Asha said, we will be in touch. So you know where to find us. Just text us, no matter what maybe stupid question you have. There are no stupid questions. So just ask them, and afterwards you will receive the output from the call. So this presentation in PDF, with all the links that we were discussing, plus there will be a recording of this amazing space, so you can share with your friends that are not here, to make sure that they also listen to it. So thank you very much, guys.
And like, please stay, because we can do, like, if you want to turn on your cameras, we can do a screenshot, so you know, for next generations, and we can also post it to encourage people to attend more webinars. So if you want to turn on your camera.
Misha, you have your camera on, but not like, yes.
Oh. Okay. Someone else?
Krzysiu, Marta, are you joining with camera?
Incognito.
I think incognito will not join.
Wait a second. Okay, Krzysiu, we are waiting for your handsome face in here. Marta, and you will show up or no?
I want, but I can't. I don't know why. Just a minute.
Dobra, we have Krzysiu.
Oh, incognito will reveal on last webinar. Cool.
Wow, can't wait. Can't wait for that.
Oh,
Yay, Marta! Woo! Dobra.
okay, so I can make the screenshots. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. I hope it works.